Hi everyone, I am Schlager Lucas and welcome to my edition of Eurovision Song Contest Previews. In this series of episodes, I'm going to review all 40 songs of this year's Eurovision Song Contest in Turin, Italy. I'm going to share all of my opinions of these songs to you. But I'm not gonna do this all by myself. I invited fellow YouTuber Luke White, who joined me on this journey, and he's gonna share all of his opinions as well. We're also gonna rate each of every song from 0 to 5. Let's not waste any more time. This is Schlager Lucas' edition of Eurovision Song Contest Previews. Welcome back to Eurovision Song Contest Previews. This is the last episode, episode 5, and in this episode we're gonna review the Big 5, which also includes the host entry from Italy. And as always, I have my guest of honor, Luke White, with me. How are you, buddy?
Hi, nice to see you again. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. This has been a very interesting journey.
I like how you've saved the Big 5 for episode 5. That pleases me.
Nice catching. After 35 songs, time for those 5 last ones. The Big 5.
Can make all the difference.
Well, I have nothing more much to say. How about we get started? What do you say about that?
Yes, let's do it. This could change everything.
So let's go ahead and let's start reviewing France. This year they are selling Alban and Ahes with Foulain. This is France.
Don't say that I'm gone, I'm Joe La Para.
Comme on est ensemble, on sera quand on Joe La Para.
Alban and Ahes with Foulain for France. I'm gonna start with this one and say this one is a little bit hard to grasp on because on the one hand I actually kind of like this ethnic style they're going with here. I like when France actually try to go outside the box sometimes in a few, and I kind of like it, but it feels a little bit repetitive, as in I like the beginning but it doesn't really change that much as the progressive. It doesn't really does much that or progressive, it just stays the same. But the only part I actually started to enjoy for real is a little bit more of the ending of the song with the music and all such. But it came in a little bit too late there. So it's a song that's kind of hard to get a grasp on, especially on the first hearing, and even when I listen it to more and more. I only like it just a little bit more, but it's not enough for me to listen to this on a regular basis. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I can totally see where you're coming from. On first reaction, when I first heard this, I was in love. I loved it. I thought it was so different. Hats off to France for coming in from a different native angle. It's so many different things going on in this, but then the more I listen to it, the more it loses its novelty. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets old very quickly. When the first drop comes in, I'm all about it. I'm like, yes. But then unfortunately it builds and builds and builds, and it hits that drop, and then the song's peaked and we're not even like a minute in, and then it's like, oh, and then the rest of the song kind of struggles to get back up there to where that drop was, and then by the time the second musical drop comes in, it's a bit too late, and it's like you said, it ends up getting a little bit repetitive melodically and kind of vocally. The structure's a bit of a mess. It's not a mess in a bad way. It's the formula is diverse and it's different, but because the structure isn't the same as a typical song, it's missing that hook. It's missing a good attainable hook, I think.
Agreed, it really does miss that special hook we kind of need. So I consider France to be more than okay, but for my taste it kind of ends up somewhere on my bottom half of my top list, probably down lower, because like I said, it's a song very pretty hard to get a grasp on, and even when I do, it's not the kind of song I would listen to that regularly. So I give France point for effort, but for now they're gonna have to get used to a very solid 2 points.
Oh, okay. Well, I can kind of agree with you there, because it's not a song I would listen to in my spare time, but it is a song that is amazing for Eurovision. And I seem to have two different lists. I have well, Eurovision bangers, but then some of those songs don't translate to my playlists usually. So in that respect, I'm going to give it a solid 3. Very middle ground for me at the moment.
Very middle ground. Agreed. Let's leave France for now. How about we continue to Germany? We remember Germany from last year. What was the guy's name again? Jendrik performing this very attacking song called I Don't Feel Hate.
I don't feel hate.
Hopefully they don't get much this hate this year as well. We know they kind of ended up in the bottom. Let's see if they can do better this year. With this year they're sending Malik Harris, sending Rock Stars. This is Germany.
Can we press pause or do a restart and be who we are? We used to be the rock stars. Never thought of no harm till this thing we call life stopped gleaming. I wish there was a way to go back dreaming. Remembering it's so hard when time is moving so fast. Wish there was a way to know that we're in.
And that was Germany with Malik Harris performing Rock Stars. Luke, what are your thoughts on this?
Do you know what? My love for Germany, the streak has not been broken. I still really love this song. Even though I was backing Felicia Lou with Anxiety, what an absolute tune. We won't talk about the national finals, but this was my second place. And it is, I think, it is jam-packed with emotion. It's jam-packed with passion. I mean, it can be argued, like you said when we were watching, that it can be a little bit too much. And sometimes you kind of question the authenticity and how genuine it is, because sometimes it feels a little bit forced. But as a songwriter myself, I know that when I write a rap compared to writing a chorus or a melody, that the rap is where you can really let go a little bit and really put everything into it, because you are kind of speaking a monologue as opposed to singing. And I do feel like he does have a factor of authenticity to him, even though it can be argued that it's a little bit too far. But I think it's attainable, it's radio friendly, it's got a great little hook in there, and he sings it very well. And I love that he opened on the chorus to really show us what the song's all about.
I pretty much agree with you there, and like I said, it is very modern and radio friendly. I do appreciate him showing that he can do more than just stand still and sing, trying these different instruments and all. And I also agree with that. I like that he's showing passion, but like I said, in the middle he probably going a little bit too much. He's taking it too much, and he seems to be more aggressive and angry rather than passionate. And when he does that, that's when you start questioning whether he's being genuine or this is just being a forced act. Like, I'm not really being passionate, I'm just acting like I am. Instead of being genuinely passionate, he's more trying to be more aggressive and angry. But I actually think this might have their audience, you know. I'm pretty sure people liked it. Some might be divided on the middle of it. When it comes to its chances in Eurovision, I might be afraid, because they are disadvantaged in not performing more than once, unlike the semi-final songs, I might fear Germany might end up somewhere on the bottom this year as well. You never know, they might come higher, but for me, this just also pretty much ends up in my okay category. Just a little bit above generic, a little bit more than okay actually.
Fair comment. I completely agree that I have favourites compared to being objective and feeling like what's going to do well and what's not going to do well. I really like this song, but I do have the fear that it's not that well received around Europe, and I don't think it's going to do well. Even though I really enjoy the song and it's one of my favourites, I can totally see that Europe probably won't vote this very highly.
Agreed. Unlike France, this is actually a song I wouldn't mind actually listening to it a couple of times when I feel like it. And for that, Germany will get a very solid 3 points from me.
Nice! Well, the only way is up, and I'm going up too. I'm giving it a big whopping 4. I loved it.
Let's move on from Germany. Let's go to Spain. This year they are sending Chanel, whatever how you pronounce it, with the song Slow Mo. This is Spain.
Rompe cadera, rompe corazones, solo existe una. Voy imitaciones. Y si aún no me cree, pues me toca mostrárselo. So que video, watch it slow mo. Booty hypnotic, make you want more. Yeah. Voy a bajarlo del suelo. If the way she could do this en voz.
Chanel with Slow Mo for Spain. And I'm gonna say, you know what? The more I am listening to it, I'm gonna be honest with you. The first times I heard this, I couldn't get into it that much. But now that I listen to it more, this is definitely the kind of song that the more you listen to it, the more I really get into it. Because I actually now realize she's a great singer, and the way she's moving on stage, doing all of these crazy moves, and yet she somehow is able to keep all of those notes intact. It's just amazing. I have to give her credit for being a great dancer and a singer at the same time, because you know how very hard it is to keep those notes intact and not lose them while you're moving around a lot, because that can really make you lose all the notes, and she's doing this very flawless. And yeah, I actually love this performance. Very energetic and very uplifting. The song is also, the more I listen to it, I actually get more grasp on it. But here's the thing, I actually realized this isn't the kind of song I actually would like to listen on my spare time, because it really feels like the kind of song that really needs a this big and grand live performance show for it song to actually work. What do you think, Luke?
But you know what? I am 100% sold. As soon as I saw this for the first time, I was like, yes, take my money. Chanel, she's the whole package. She, like you said, the singing, the dancing, she's so current and so modern to what you would see in the charts. Well, in the UK anyway. She's like, she is a machine. How does she do it? She is like Camilla Cabello on steroids. Like, I don't understand how she is human, how she's able to do all of this. Like, she brings a show, she brings her attitude, her personality, then smoking hot dance moves. And I think, to be honest, once I've seen the performance and then I listen to the studio version, my mind is reverted straight back to the performance. So I just picture it in my head as it's going along, and I like to pretend the strobe lights are on and off and I'm doing the more. Like, it's that little hook and that sort of contagiousness that gets stuck in my head, and I'm just singing it all day long. It is one of my favourites. I cannot get enough. It, like you said, it lifts your spirits. It leaves me feeling so happy and so positive. And to me, that's what is amazing about music. And if music can change your mood, then it's an incredible track. Love it. Mwah.
Agreed. The more I listen to it, the more I get into the song, and it really is very catchy, and I actually like listening to it. And you know what? I was actually giving a much lower points, but now that I'm listening to it a bit more, I'm gonna give Spain a very strong 4 points.
Oh, I brainwashed you. Yes. Okay. I think it's pretty obvious what I'm going to give this. Top marks, baby. A big old 5 from me.
Nice.
Take it. You've earned it.
Very nice. I think Spain are going to do very, very well this year. I think they might even have potential to even win. Let's see how Spain is going to do this year, but for now, let's move on from Spain and let's go to the least successful country of all times. Actually, no, I'm kidding. UK is far from being the least successful, seeing how they still hold the record for most runners-ups in history. But now in recent years, now UK seems to have been trapped in this situation that they seem to have to struggle to even get out of a top 20. Like, you remember the last year when it got 0-0 for the first time in this current voting system. What do you feel about that?
Well, do you know what? I'm over caring, to be honest with you. Like, honestly, people think, especially people in the comment section, that they can insult my country or insult the songs we send. I'm like, whatever. We usually send a load of rubbish anyway. I mean, I completely agree with half of the commenters out there. It's hard because it's all subjective. Don't get me wrong, it's a little bit of a knock to see it do so badly, but I mean, it's not anything that is any different. We've all become accustomed to this. We all know what's going to happen. So I'm like, whatever. I have a mantra in life: hope for the best, but expect the worst. That way you can't be disappointed. So expect to get 0-0, but just hope that you'd get 1 point. You'd never be disappointed. It works every time.
I definitely like the spirit. I also found UK to be very underappreciated for most of the years, because I actually have a very soft spot for UK. I usually give them a very, very nice placement in my top list. Like, for example, last year I actually gave James actually 11th place on my top list, because it's still a very nice song to listen to, and I thought it was very unfair for him to get a last place with 0-0. So you know what, let's see how UK will do this year. This year UK are sending Sam Ryder performing Spaceman. This is United Kingdom.
I'm up in space, up in space, There's nothing but space, man. And I wanna go home.
Sam Ryder with Spaceman for United Kingdom. I'm gonna let you have this one, Luke. How did you think about it?
Well, okay. Finally, it's a song that I feel like the entirety of the United Kingdom and the majority of Europe can actually be proud of the UK for sending for once, because this is a sort of song that does seem to me typically British. When you think of acts like Adele and Ed Sheeran, they have this natural, I'm not sure how to say it, like charisma about them that is typically British, and it's a kind of standard that we are known for around the world. We have these big global artists, and to me, this is a sort of song that would not be out of place in the charts in America, around the world, in the UK, and it's just nice to see that we're taking it seriously for once.
Agreed, and I have to say, this might be one of the better songs UK sends, but I will let you know that the first hearing of this song, I was actually very hyped because it's such a very nice song, pretty modern and retro-friendly, and I like how UK actually say in their box, like you said, this is a very, very typical British song, and I can actually imagine UK doing pretty great actually this year. I have to add that the more I listen to this song, somehow I actually get more and more underwhelmed by it. Like, usually I would start being underwhelmed with a song, but the more I listen to it, I would appreciate more and more. This somehow works kind of backwards for me. I actually super liked it the first time, but the more I listen to it, I kind of loses it at the moment just a little bit. It actually get a little bit underwhelmed for me, but nevertheless, I actually quite enjoyed it. It's a pretty good song, and I really hope the very best for this guy and for UK this year.
Yeah, usually I'm the first person for a UK, I don't know if you're the same with Sweden, but I'm usually the first person to say, no, I hate it, we're not going to do very well. But this is like one of the first years that I've been like, yes, this is actually like worthy. It's got a classic sound, and I think it will age better rather than not being funny. Embers last year was a great first instant impact, but the more you listen to it, you're like, I'm a little bit tired of it now.
Agreed. This one it's a kind of song that kind of loses it the more you listen to it, and I feel like when he do those high notes, I mean, here's the thing, he has a great voice, but I'm afraid that unlike the music video, when it comes to live performance, he might have a little bit of struggle to keep those very, very high notes flawlessly, so I don't know how he's gonna do it. I do hope he will do great, but for now, he really needs to work on those high notes, because otherwise he's gonna get very, very divided opinions when it comes to the live performance.
He's so good at the softer but high notes, but then when he needs to get a little bit of power behind it, I think, like you've said, we're so used to the music video and the production behind it, there's almost like a reverb and an echo and some effects, but then when it's live and it's just his vocal exposed, there's just not enough there, is there?
Agreed, it kind of loses it from the music video. But I actually like how this guy is pretty laid back, and somehow he still managed to hold those high notes. So for UK this year, they will get a very strong 3 points from me.
Nice! Yes! More than one. Okay.
Of course.
I don't want to come across as being really biased now, but it's a 5. I'm just going to casually slip it in there, 5. Because... and this is coming from me, someone who usually disses the UK, and I live here. I'm so hyped up for this song. I'm just so proud, and I think that we actually stand a really good chance of getting on the left-hand side of the board for once. And if I keep the faith here, hopefully I can spread the faith and I can manifest it around Europe. Manifest. Let's make it happen. Left-hand side. Don't care if we're top 10 or whatever. Just left-hand side, please.
Agreed, I do also hope to see UK on the left side of the scoreboard for once, but for now, let's move on. The last country for this year and the last country for this series. We are now going to the host country this year, Italy. 1 year after Måneskin won with their song, now they get to host for the first time since 1991. Which is also the year Sweden won, and let's see if Sweden can win again in Italy as well.
That would be weird, wouldn't it?
It would be a great coincidence. And we see another return in here, Mahmoud. Last time we saw him was 2019 when he was performing Soldi, and he actually came on second place. Now he's back, now he has Blanco with him, and this year they are performing Brevidi. This is Italy.
A volte non si esprimermi e ti vorrei un
Mahmoud and Blanco with Brividi for the host country Italy. And I'm gonna start off to say I absolutely love this song. From the very first hearing, I just fell immediately in love with it. It's so musically interested. These two just have the best chemistry. Their voices really work with each other. And it's such harmonic, such beautiful, such a gripping song. And I enjoy listening to it, even in my spare time. How do you feel about it, Luke?
Well, you're completely right. They are entering this to do the double. You know, you get some host countries that think, oh, we can't afford it next year, we're going to send a rubbish song. Not Italy, they are literally trying to do it again. This song has so much beautiful sentiment behind it. Lyrically, it is so unique because I love the angle it comes from. It's saying like how the lyrics depict how they don't know how to love, and you can really see the metaphors coming out within that. I know we've had a half-hearted kind of translation on YouTube, but when you do look at the lyrics on their own, they just hit, they're different, and they're quite relatable as well, and it just kind of strike a chord. But that together with that orchestral instrumentation and their amazing harmonies, it just really all comes together exceptionally well. It's world class.
Well, that's totally how Italian magic works, and they always loved being very orchestral. I love the music. You know what? If Italy decides to win again this year, I totally wouldn't mind it. This is a song I kind of wish they could have won with last year. And for that, Italy will get a very strong 5 points from me.
Yes, we're getting back on the same wavelength. It is another 5. All of the 5s for the big 5.
Something we can agree on. So that's it. Seems like we have reviewed every single song this year. We're gonna take a look at the table here as usual, and of course Italy is our top country here with a total of 10 points, with both 5 from us, with Spain on second place with 9 points, United Kingdom on third place with 8, Germany on fourth with 7, and we have France on last place with 5 points.
I'd be happy if that was the final of every song. If that was the final result, I'd be happy.
Agreed. Like I said, Italy are very welcome to win this year if they would like to.
They're going for the double. They are so going for it.
And now that I listen to all the songs, let's take a look at the complete table, all the songs we have been ranking. And as I can see here, there are 3 songs that we gave full 5, both of us. The 3 songs happen to be Switzerland, Poland, and Italy.
All of the ballads! Wow!
The ballad ones.
To be the ballads.
We also have a couple countries that shared with 9 points. I'm gonna tell them for you. It seems to be Moldova, Netherlands, Ukraine, Finland, Czech Republic, Sweden, and Spain. With all of them 9 points.
Nice. Do you know what? It's so cool to hear when your opinions are collated with somebody else's, because I think you're kind of blinkered into your own opinion and your own top 40, that sometimes you just you can't comprehend how other people like, for example, I stand Spain, and for somebody to say I hate Spain, don't get me wrong, I respect their opinion, but sometimes I'm thinking, how can you not like that song? Like, do you know what I mean? So to have opinions like this and you get like a joint score, it's really eye-opening, and it does really make me appreciate other people's opinions even more. Like when people and all these other YouTubers do like the scoreboards, when people do the jury votes, it's so cool to see because it kind of gives you a little glimpse into what the final result could be.
Agreed. I feel like Spain definitely have a very big chance. They could potentially win this year. I'm not sure. They might have a little bit struggle. There are a lot of competitors this year, but Spain might do very well. I actually assume they will get top 10, maybe top 5 even.
And you know what? I think for countries like Spain, like the UK, that's all they need. That's all that we are trying to do, is just to get noticed again. Look at Eleni Fouaia, look at Cyprus. Since she came second in 2018, ever since, everybody has been so hyped for Cyprus because they are still in the back of everybody's mind. So when it comes to something like that, if we can just make a good impression and get into people's hearts and their heads again, then maybe they'll give us a little bit more respect, or they'll be a little bit more hyped up for our entries next year. Maybe it works like that, maybe it doesn't, but we can try.
Yeah, we could try. And I look at here, when it comes to Italy, like I said, very gripping. I know a lot of people have it as a favorite, and like I said, if they would win this year as well, I honestly wouldn't mind it. It's such a beautiful song. It's definitely the kind of song I would love to see win. So if they do that, I'm not gonna be mad. On the contrary, I will actually be happy if these two actually won. It would be a great revenge for Mahmoud for coming on first place, considering he came second the last time he was competing.
Yes. Okay, here's a question for you. Would you be mad if any of these won? Like, is there one entry that you would actually be mad if it won?
I think that would be my bottom placing, and that's happened to be Serbia. Because I can tell you this, if you remember, when Netta won with Toy, that was probably the worst year of my life because I actually had her at last, because of all the songs, that's the song I actually liked the least, and somehow she actually won. That was a very bad year according to my taste, so I really hope it doesn't repeat itself this year as well. So, but you know what, I don't have any worries. I don't think Serbia is gonna win anyway this year.
I think they're going to surprise you. I think they're going to do quite well, just a prediction. But I think I would be not mad because, I mean, every song deserves to do well, but I would be not one of my favourites, let's say. My bottom is Latvia. I would be a bit miffed. I'd be like, really? If Latvia won? Like, don't get me wrong, I'd be happy for them and proud, but at the same time, I'd be like, really? Over the classy entries.
I guess I would be surprised if Latvia actually won, because they're pretty much at the bottom of the odds list, so I'm pretty sure there's no worries they ain't gonna win. We also have Ukraine this year, who seems to be on the number one on many odds list. And I'm gonna tell you, the more I listen to Ukraine, I actually like it more. And I actually told you before that I couldn't get in with a rapper earlier, but the more I listen, I actually get more soft on the rapper. It kind of wins me over just bit for bit the more I listen to it. So I would say maybe I wouldn't be 100% happy if Ukraine won, because it's not my number one, but I wouldn't be totally mad if they won. But the real question is, do we really want to see Ukraine win, considering the situation they are now? Can we really ask them to host the whole contest next year, considering what's going on right now?
See, do you know what? I did not even comprehend the hosting situation. Don't get me wrong, I would love for Ukraine to win. And I don't want to mention politics, but it's a bit. I think the song is genuinely really, really good. It is actually my 4th place in my top 40, and I would not be upset if they won whatsoever. I think personally they need people to show unity, and I would be so happy if people voted for them. Even if I've seen the toxic side of the internet, people saying that it's a sympathy vote, etc., etc. I don't care. If they get votes because people sympathise with them, then I just think they need to show that people are supporting them and they're behind them. So for me, if they were to win, I would be extremely happy, because the song is amazing and they are so strong and we need to be behind them. So, I mean, I would not be mad if they won at all.
That's kind of weird, because I remember the year Jamala won for Ukraine in 2016, and everybody said that they only voted for her for political reasons. But honestly, I didn't care, because on that year I thought Jamala had the best song. She was the most passionate, and I actually loved the song. It was very ethnic. So no, I actually was happy when Ukraine won that year. I didn't care whatever political sub-message it had. It was generally the best song. And this year, I think Ukraine is very, very, very great. And I wouldn't be mad if they won. I actually would be kind of glad if they did. They're not my number one, but I wouldn't be mad if they won anyway. But like I said, at least I wouldn't get mad about it. Like, it's not like they're Italy from last year. This one I actually appreciate a lot more.
Yeah, 100%.
Another country that seems to be on many favorites also happens to be Sweden. Cornelia Jacobs with Hold Me Closer. What do you think of Sweden's chances this year?
I actually rate it really, really highly, because I think it's going to be refreshing for the general public to see a song like Cornelia Jacobs and think, wow, it's authentic, it's polished, but it's also really heart-wrenching. It's that lyrically it's strong, and it's quite stunning actually when you think of what she's singing. There's something about it that makes you sit up and pay attention, and I think they have the perfect blend of contemporary and raw, and I think it's going to do extremely well.
I also believe Sweden is going to do very, very well. We all know that Sweden used to be very favorites with the jury, and I do hope that the televoters are going to be very fair to her, because this actually, I believe this song is actually one of Sweden's best entries they have sent on recent years, and I do hope they will go very well for Sweden. Maybe top 5, could end on a 3rd. I actually would be happy if Sweden would win. I mean, obviously I would be, because I'm Swedish myself. This thing as to Sweden, I have to say, if Sweden would win this year and get to host it next year, they need to bring Petra Mede back as a host again. She needs to break that record.
Oh, do you know what? That was an incredible year. That hosting was the top notch, the best, hands down the best.
We also have Poland's, who seems to be many's favorite, Achman with River. Definitely top 10 potential. It's pretty hard to see it win. I know it's gonna do great. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have the big chance of winning. I only see a big chance of getting a very great placing. I'm guessing top 10 is gonna be for Poland.
I can totally see this top 10. It kind of gives me, don't get me wrong, I am not a fan of Scream from Sergej. I'm not a fan, but this gives me that sort of vibe. I absolutely love Poland this year, and it gives me that kind of, it's one of those songs that is well received by everybody because it has classical elements in it, it's got a timeless sound, and you cannot deny that vocal. I think it's got something in there for everybody. I'm not a massive ballad fan, but to see a song like that, incredible, loved it.
I will tell you this, there's actually another song I actually would be pretty pissed if I won, and that's Norway with Give That Wolf a Banana. I would not be happy if that song won.
Stop it! I would be well happy if they won. I would be I'd be like, yum, 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 yum. I'll be doing everything. I love it. I just think, do you know what? The world is so beeped up at the moment that we need some positivity, we need some fun, we need some novelty, we need someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. But I understand that it's like Marmite and that people hate it, people love it. And you got your in-betweeners that are like, yeah, whatever. Do you know what? Subwoofer for the win. You can do it. Come on, Team Subwoofer.
Well, I don't have my what I can tell that. Another country I would like to bring up, I think people are not going to appreciate enough, happened to be Australia with Sheldon Riley performing Not the Same, because that might be one of the best live performances I've seen in recent years. Like, that guy, he just gave it all. If Australia, if he could win, I honestly would be totally fine with it because it's such a powerful performance and I absolutely love this song. I love this artist. He's really giving his everything. So if Australia would win, I would be totally fine with it. Would you be fine with it?
I'll be okay with it. I mean, there's something about it that's... I watched the reaction. I did the reaction video, but then when I watched the two performances back, the live, the national final performance and then the winner's performance, there's something about it that I don't know if it feels a little bit too theatrical and a little bit too forced with the whole mask and the shakes. And there's something about it I'm not too sold on, but I completely 100% agree that one of the best male vocals, maybe one of the best vocals in the competition this year. I think it's going to be very hit or miss with the general public because the structure is so different. But at the same time, that different structure, what it lacks in structure, it gains an emotional factor and a vocal.
I was also questioning whether his performance was genuine or not, but like I said, I can just tell he's passionate and he really does have voice. And I actually heard he will travel to Turin, by the way. He will perform for the live audience. That's good news, by the way. Another country we could talk about, I guess, would be Switzerland with Marius Beer performing Boys Do Cry. This is actually the other country we gave full 5 points together. I don't think Switzerland is gonna win this year because it doesn't seem to be on many's top list, especially on the top one doesn't seem. But I will tell you this, even if it doesn't win, I do hope he advances to the grand final and hopefully just ends up on the left side of the scoreboard. That is the minimum I'm hoping for Switzerland. But you never know. Maybe he could pull off a very big surprise. Kind of like when Salvador won for Portugal. I don't think everybody suspected he would, but who knows? Miracles can happen. I'm just gonna hope for the very best for Marius. At least if he goes to the grand final, I'll be totally fine, happy with that.
I agree. I just think after looking on Twitter and other social media that a lot of people don't really have the time for it, and I think it's pretty much slept on. I don't think people appreciate just how beautiful and melodic the song is. It's very classic, very timeless, but I just think it's lost on a lot of people, unfortunately.
I don't know what other we could talk. I guess I could mention Azerbaijan with Nadir performing Fade to Black. It was definitely a very musically interested song. Hopefully he can do a very strong live performance as Shellon did for Australia. I know, it doesn't seem to be very high up, but I kind of hope for the best for Azerbaijan anyway. Hopefully they get on the advances and gets on the left side of the scoreboard.
It'd be interesting to see it live, to be honest, because we have only just seen a music video for it.
Exactly, we only seen the studio version of it. I don't know what chances are for Finland. Like I said, I do enjoy the Rasmus with Jezebel. It's one of the better rock songs I've heard in Eurovision in recent years. I do hope they're doing pretty great. I actually kind of hope Finland to do at least top 10 this year. I don't know. This is the kind of rock song I can get into, but it seems like people get more into the more up-tempo kind of hard rock songs, seemingly, considering Jezebel is more of a mid-tempo rock song, but I'm gonna hope for the very best for the Rasmus this year.
It hits differently, doesn't it? And I think that's what a lot of people won't be expecting. They will be expecting a rock song that's in your face, and to see something like this that is a bit more laid back and takes a little while to get going, I think it's good because it sets a mood and it sets the scene. You don't need a song that's in your face from the get-go, do you? You like a bit of build, a bit of diversity, and something to keep you engaged.
Well, so what would you say are your most number one favorite to win? Actually, wait, you said it was Spain, right? You would love to see Chanel win with Slow Mo this year, wouldn't you?
I would absolutely love it. To be honest with you, I would be incredibly happy if any of my top 10 won. I can't say that if, for example, in my top 10 you've got the likes of Poland, Italy, Spain, Norway, UK. If any of those countries won, I would be so happy because it's just nice to see songs that you like win. You do get attached to your favourites, but if they did well, then everybody's happy. If Chanel got top 5, incredibly happy. If my 10th place, which is Georgia, for example, if Georgia won, yeah, I'd be happy. I'd be incredibly happy as long as the others did well and they didn't get 0 points. I don't want to see anybody get 0 points, even though it's gripping television.
Agree. Like I said, I would be absolutely happy if Italy won. Even if they won last year, I wouldn't mind seeing them winning just for this year as well. Because like I said, Revedi is such a beautiful song, very gripping, and I do hope they're gonna do a very marvelous, great live performance in Eurovision. They have a big chance of winning. Maybe get a runner-up, I don't know. We also have Ukraine. Like I said, I wouldn't be mad if they won. I actually would be quite glad if they would win. So I would say somewhere between Ukraine, Italy and Sweden. If any of them won, I would be totally fine with it.
I bet you would if Sweden won. But wouldn't it be so weird if history did repeat itself and they're hosting in Italy again and then Sweden did? That would be very strange.
It really would be. Look, I want to give you the biggest thank you for joining me on this journey. I don't think I would have had the courage or the confidence to actually come out publicly on the YouTube community if it weren't for your involvement. You really helped me with my confidence, and I'm very, very glad you joined me on this journey to analyze and share your opinions with the songs with me. I am very grateful you joined me on this.
Oh, bless your heart. I'm so grateful for you for asking me to do it, to be your very first guest on your very first public video. Hey, and I'm not being funny. I know why you asked me because I make a massive fool of myself most of the time. So you're going to look like an absolute angel in comparison.
You know what? Thank you so much again for joining me. And thank you guys at home for watching these videos. And once more, hit the like button, leave a very friendly comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe to both my channel, and don't forget to go and subscribe to Luke's channels as well, because he is as much fun and enjoyable as I am, I promise you that.
Oh.
How about you, Luke? Would you like to give a message before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I just want to say you stuck around for the 5th episode. Well done, and thank you so much. We want to know all of your thoughts. We want to know where you rank the top 5. Let us know your big 5, your first place, your second, third, fourth, and give us a score out of 10, because these songs are incredible. Let's not forget that there is good in every song, and respect everybody's opinion, whether you agree or not.
Agreed. Thank you so much for watching this series. I hope I get to see you next year. I hope I do more videos for the next year's Eurovision. And hopefully I might invite you again. This was a lot of fun doing this together with you.
I agree.
Well, the only thing left now is to see how the Eurovision Song Contest is gonna take place and how everything will go. I hope they get great hosts this year, and let's hope for our favorite songs to win.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll be voting like mad. Phones at the ready.
My phone's ready as well. You take care now, and you take care as well. Goodbye. Hey do. Take care. Bye.